lovers, it is G-Swizz here, and I'm here today to talk about my May TBR. I swear it was only just yesterday that I made my April TBR. There are plenty of books that I do want to read this month. Some of them I'm a bit more lenient with, but there are technically a lot of books that I just want to get to. The very interesting thing about this month, or at least maybe the last month and a half, I have been in such an anime and manga slump. I used to binge watch One Piece every single weekend. I have not been doing that for at least the last month, which is so weird because I had the urge to catch up. I'm like almost 500 episodes in to the 1,000 episode series so far, and no, I stopped. I'm barely reading any manga now, and therefore I've been barely buying any manga as of recently either, but I've been really focusing on my books and my book reading, which is so weird. But you know, that might change. Maybe it's just at the moment I have been craving some fantasy romance and I've been enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe if I reread Berserk, it will get me out of my slump. But there is a manga that I put on my TBR this month, but everything else is going to be books. Without further ado, let's get into my May TBR. So the manga that I will be reading this month is the Demon Slayer volume of the month. This is volume 21 of Demon Slayer. This is the third last volume of Demon Slayer. Yeah, no, I'm getting very nervous about the way that this series is directing because I just don't want it to end, but it's gotta end. Who knows? If I get out of my slump, I'll pick it up this month. At the moment, I think to myself, maybe should I wait until volume 23 is out and then I binge read the last 3 volumes, or should I just read them periodically like everyone else is? Camilo actually ended up purchasing this one. He really wanted it a part of the collection, and I was purchasing fantasy books as I do. Hopefully this might be the thing that breaks my slump, but if not, something else will. Okay, let's get into the book. So I'm also experiencing a slump with this series because I'm pretty sure I've put this on multiple TBRs and I have not read it yet. This is Calibans War by James S.A. Corey, and I think it's because I've been in such a fantasy romance kick and this does not follow any of them. And also the Expanse TV show has kind of like really turned me off from continuing on with the book series because now I visualize the characters in real life. It's so weird, and it's funny because I started Shadow and Bone yesterday and I was thinking to myself, this is not how I visualize some characters. Like, not Alina. I mean, Alina is perfect. The Darkling is perfect. Mal is actually really perfect in this series, and also Inej. But there are just some of the characters in the books that I just visualize differently. I'm happy that I've actually finished or I'm caught up in the Grishaverse at the moment. Once I get back to the Grishaverse, it's just gonna be so weird visualizing the characters. Based on my experience of trying to get back into the Expanse world, it's so weird to visualize these characters as their TV show counterparts and kind of like imagine this world done in like a network TV show way. Let's hope that I push past that. I actually get to the series because apparently it's really good, and I just remember actually really enjoying Calibans War, but I barely remember anything about it. So I actually just gotta bite the bullet and do it. And then we have a young adult fantasy, because fantasy is my thing, that I planned to binge read. Then I just found out from someone who commented on one of my Bookstagram posts, there's gonna be a third book. Interesting. The Fable series by Adrian Young, but I wanted to binge read these 2 books here. I should have probably put them up like this. There we go. That's the face for you. I've wanted to read Fable for a while. When I found out that Namesake was only coming out like 6 months after, that's when I decided I'm just gonna binge read the duology. And then I just found out that it's a trilogy. Regardless, I wanted to read the series anyway, and I'm very excited to get to them. Here's a book that I might be getting to this month, and that, my friends, is Crush, which is the 2nd book in the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. If you guys don't know, I read Crave last month and really enjoyed it. This cover is a lot more symbolic if you've read the ending of Crave. And now I'm trying not to scream because the ending of Crave almost had me chucking my book across the train. I finished it on the train. Crush might be read this month. If not, it's going to definitely be read in the lead up to Court, and I'm pretty sure Court comes out in September. Just the entire series. Oh my goodness, I can't handle it. I plan to start the Harbinger series by Jennifer L. Armentrout because I have massive Blood and Ash withdrawals right now. And who knows, I might even reread The Crown of Gilded Bone. I can't handle it. I've just thought to myself, you know, I need to get into another Jennifer L. Armentrout book because clearly this lady has a hold on me. She's really good at writing very engrossing plot lines, and I heard that the Harbinger series is no exception to that. So I'm hoping I like the Harbinger Harbinger series, or at least Storm and Fury, as much as Blood and Ash. I actually don't expect to, but as much as I want to, essentially. And I heard that the Bookish box is going to be doing a special editions box of the third book. That's another reason why I've got to get to reading it, because I gotta decide whether I want more Bookish merch. That's the way they steal my money. And speaking of the Bookish box, they're also coming out with special edition box of Bridge Kingdom and the Traitor Queen by Danielle L. Jensen. If you guys don't know, Danielle L. Jensen already proved how much of an amazing writer she was to me when I read the Malediction trilogy. The Malediction trilogy is one of my favorite fantasy romance trilogies ever. I really enjoyed it, and it gave me what the Remnant Chronicles could not give me. I'm still really bitter about the Remnant Chronicles, guys. You can obviously tell. With this series, I just know that I'm absolutely gonna love it, because what I've heard from readers, kind of what you want from a Danielle L. Jensen story, but also it's new adult. And so yeah, I'm very much looking forward to getting into this series. I heard that it's a political thrilling romance in a sense, so I at least want to get to this first book before ordering this special edition box set from the Bookish box. Can't pass up an opportunity to get some hardcovers. And the next book I've got to mention is actually a book I don't physically have, because I've decided that I am going to wait for my Bookish box edition of it before I decide whether to get the regular edition of it or not, because the Bookish box edition is going to be illustrated from one of my favorite illustrators. I'm really excited for it, and by the time this video goes up, I will have already attempted to purchase it if it doesn't buy away at the checkout. So the book that I'm talking about is The Game of Fate by Scarlett Sinclair. If you guys don't know, A Game of Fate is the second, not really second, maybe I think it's 1.5 in the series of the Hades and Persephone series, and essentially it follows Hades' perspective. I don't know if it has any prequel elements either, but what I do know is that I wanted Hades' perspective when I was reading A Touch of Darkness. I actually really enjoyed A Touch of Darkness. I was expecting it to just be okay, but I really ended up enjoying it. I just kind of wish that it was a bit more fleshed out. I think that A Game of Fate might just flesh it out a little bit more. Yeah, I was really looking forward to his perspective, and we're gonna get his perspective, which is cool. And the Bookish box special edition box set comes with both A Touch of Darkness and A Game of Fate, and then 2 boxes after that they'll come with the other editions, which I'm really excited about. But for now, I'm probably gonna listen to this one on audiobook. Final 2 books that I definitely do want to get to this month are A Heart So Fierce and Broken, and finally A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kemmerer. For some reason, I had the first and third books in this series before I had the second book, and that was because that the second book ended up running out of stock in my local suppliers, and so I ended up having to purchase this one from the US, whereas I purchased the other ones from Australia. I finally have the entire trilogy, and I'm really excited to binge read the rest of the series because the first book was really good. What the heck, I just cannot wait for what's in store in the rest of the series, and apparently the rest of the series is going to follow more with Gray's perspective, and I like Gray. Gray is a really cool character as proven in the first book, so I'm really excited to continue on with the story, considering that there are 2 different directions now than just one. So I guess that's gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. If you happen to enjoy it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already. Join the amazing community of book lovers. And also, I have social medias. I'm at gswizzelbooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also at Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/gswizzle. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.